AJ, what's gender?
I don't know. I don't even know her.
But you're the older, wiser co-host. I need you to know these things so you can guide me.
Well, I would say that gender is is something nobody understands. Like, a bunch of people came together and thought they understood it, and they were like, yes, these are the set defined rules that we must pave so that, they didn't even know what kind of goal that they were looking to accomplish. But here we are, 400,000 years later, and somehow we're only now starting to bust this down. It's a wonder that it took us this long, really.
Gender is that old?
Yes. Don't you know? It happened all the way back in ancient Flurble Barblia, and then this person named Turbis Telbanen, he was like, I feel like people should be divided into two: those with the chest hair and those with the mammaries. And they were like, and he was like, they should act, can you tell? I'm not a fan of public speaking.
It's a good thing you're not in public.
Indeed. And good thing I'm not a college professor neither. Seriously, why did you ask me this in the first place?
Oh, 'cause I want to know.
But they couldn't even unlock the secrets of gender, so why should we be able to?
Well, because it's been a while since this episode aired. I would have thought we would have learned some more about it. About the secrets of manhood, womanhood, non-binary hood, all the other hoods.
We're all from the hood.
Boys in the Hood, Toys in the Hood, which was a working title for Toy Story, Leprechaun in the Hood.
Wait, are you for real?
Yes, I'm for real. I don't think they seriously wanted to use it, but it was on their list.
That is hilarious. So, what are the secrets of gender, and can we unlock them in about 40 minutes? Find out on this episode of Into the Falls.
Welcome to Into the Falls, a Gravity Falls podcast. I'm Mary, and I know lots of things.
I'm AJ, and I know nothing.
This is a podcast where I guide AJ through the wonderful weirdness of Gravity Falls, my favorite show that he has never seen.
If you're a new arrival like me, or looking to relive some crazy summer memories, come with us, and let's dive into the falls.
AJ, the questions aren't done yet because it's time for a new segment I'm calling the Into the Falls Mystery Minute.
Ooh.
You can play game show music over this. All right, I have a question here that's worth 6 points.
All right, lay it on me.
So the question is, there were 3 major guest voices in this episode. Can you name the actor and the character and match them up?
Oh, boy.
If you get the right actor, but not the right character, you get 1 point, and vice versa. If you get the character and the actor, you get 2 points. So if you get them all 100% right, that's 6 points.
Oh, I'm really bad at this. Oh, boy. I get actors' names and faces wrong all the time. I'm gonna do horrible at this. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess our guest stars this week were Lazy Susan, the Multi-Bear, and the Manitar.
You have 2 points. Can you guess any of the actors' names?
I feel like I should just say no and cop out.
You can't think of any guest actors who might be in this episode.
John Ritter, possibly related to Jason Ritter.
John Ritter died in 2004.
Forgot.
And he was Jason Ritter's father. You got that part right, but that wasn't part of the question, so you don't get a point for that.
Jim Hanks, Tom Hanks' brother, because we mentioned Toy Story earlier.
That's kind of a leap, and no, he was not in this episode. Can you think of past episodes. Think of things that have stumped you
Will Forte.
Will Forte is in it. That's 3 points for you.
I got one.
You can't name who played who?
Will Forte played the multi-bear.
You think Will Forte played the multi-bear?
Final answer, Regis.
That is incorrect. You ended up with 3 points.
Oh.
So not bad, not bad. You got 3 points.
We'll get him next time.
I will give you 2 out of the 3 because I want you to keep looking out for Will Forte. I want to wait for you to figure it out. So Lazy Susan is played by Jennifer Coolidge. The multi-bear is played by Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina. All right.
AKA Dr. Octopus.
By the way, as we're recording this, apparently Twitter's in a tizzy because apparently the new Spider-Man movie trailer has leaked.
It did leak, but then they released it officially like 12 hours later, so it's just out.
Okay. I just keep seeing this one GIF of Alfred Molina going, "Hello, Peter."
It's pronounced GIF, so I'm gonna have to dock you a point for that.
Whatever. I stand by this. I will say GIF until my deathbed, and you can go squeeze a manhandle over it.
Well, that's a strange metaphor, but let's talk about this episode. What'd you think?
This is probably the most uncomfortable I've ever been watching an episode of Gravity Falls, and there haven't been many episodes thus far, but just the whole concept revolving around this silly idea of manliness and Dipper, who's just like 12, striving for this. It was just like, okay.
But I mean, that is something that 12-year-olds, I feel like, would worry about.
Yeah, just by nature, they're kind of late bloomers already.
Yeah, puberty is when you're starting to figure that stuff out and you're insecure if you don't fit a certain image that people have for you. And for Dipper, he wants to be taken seriously and he wants to be seen as a man.
A man!
Not a boy, a man.
And not, somebody who listens to, what was it? Famous Icelandic pop group Baba.
Baba.
I just liked how silly that was. Disco girl coming through. That girl is you. Don't come in! Don't come in!
When you did the ad for the last one that we released, episode 3, and you said they like really liked ABBA, and that's why they opened the Viking biking bar. I was like, I don't know if they did. So in my notes I have ABBA is masculine enough for the Viking bikers, but Baba is where they draw the line. Because they're 2 completely different acts.
Yeah, there's a very strict difference.
Speaking of acts, we have Manly Dan in this episode again. Not as much, but he's there.
Yeah, I feel like that was a good way to sort of segue into the main manliness plot, is just to have him show up and then just blow the head off of that machine. And I mean, I gotta give Dipper some credit. He was able to get to man before he just kind of ran out of steam.
Yeah.
But apparently that's not man enough. Apparently that's still only able to be classified as a cutie patootie, which I want to speak to the manufacturer about that.
The manufacturer didn't take their required GWS courses in college.
Cheapos.
Okay, so the prize was a stack of pancakes that was just sitting next to the machine on like a little end table. How long was it there?
Who knows? I have to assume before the diner opened, somebody cooked up a stack and then set it up there for opening time. And I have to hope that stack of pancakes is rotated regularly. Otherwise, I'm gonna need to call a health inspector on this place.
There's no good scenario here, because if they're rotating the stacks, they're wasting a lot of food. And if they're not, they're just giving cold pancakes away as a prize, unless those are just the display pancakes. And if you win, they just cook you up new ones. But everyone got those pancakes because Manly Dan like pounded it and they went everywhere. So they're all just having cold ass, maybe stale pancakes. And like, it's not like you can reheat them. Have you ever tried to reheat a pancake? They taste terrible.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I've tried the microwave. I've tried the toaster. It's a little good in the toaster, but you sort of get that crust with the soft inside. That's really nice, but it's never going to be as good as the real thing.
I've never heard of anyone doing that. No. The only time I've heard of putting pancakes in the toaster is when Eggo made those little mini pancakes, which I think they still do.
Oh, yeah. They probably do.
So Lazy Susan, she's shown up before, This is the first time we really get any focus on her. What'd you think of her?
She was pretty cute. She seemed pretty, typical old diner lady.
She's got one working eye.
Yeah.
I was so uncomfortable watching her, like, move her eyelid to wink because she's got, like, really pointy nails. And I'm like, no, you're gonna scratch yourself. Like, I cannot imagine. Like, the first day I wore contacts, when I went to take them out, my nails were too long and I scratched my eye.
Oh.
Like, they weren't sharp, but they were long. And I just, oh, God. Oh, that's a nightmare. I'm pretty sure Lazy Susan had a stroke before this episode because she is barely forming full sentences.
You know what? She's trying her best, and I mean, she's still able to keep this place semi-running to health codes, so I mean, good for her.
Yeah, but she just like throws the plate on the table and goes, "Food."
Well, I mean, that's kind of on brand with the sign out there. We have food.
I forgot that was their slogan. That's the thing about, I have in my notes, the thing about rewatching this is, like, I haven't rewatched a lot of these episodes for a while. And so that really helps because a lot of the jokes feel very fresh. Like, I forgot a lot of these until I watched the episode tonight.
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. And I've sort of seen enough at this point that my mind sort of clues into the show's kind of brand of small jokes like that, and so I'm like, okay, where am I gonna find them? And then say there's an establishing shot right there. I'm like, oh, there's one. Oh, there's another. And I just smile.
So Lazy Susan is played by Jennifer Coolidge, who's a character actress. I guess would be her title. I don't know what defines a character actor or a character actress, but I would call Jennifer Coolidge a character actress. She was Paula in Legally Blonde. She was the stepmother in A Cinderella Story. Oh, I'm trying to think what else. I might have to Google it. Forgive me, Jennifer Coolidge.
I would say my definition of a character actor would be they usually play one character and play them very, very well.
Yeah, I would say that's Jennifer Coolidge. That's kind of her brand from everything I've seen her in. Oh, I guess she was the main character's mom in Promising Young Woman, but I didn't see that. Most recently, she was in The White Lotus, which I also haven't seen, but I hear good things about. She's been in a lot of Christopher Guest movies. She played Janine Stifler in the American Pie film series. I think that's one of the characters' moms.
Yeah, I can sense a theme here.
Yeah, that's kind of her brand of humor, is the way she delivers lines as Lazy Susan. That's pretty much every Jennifer Coolidge role I've seen.
By the way, what ship name would you give Stan and Susan?
That's a good question.
Stanson?
Stewson is a little weird. Because maybe it's someone named Stu.
Stan.
Maybe. But then we have Seuss.
Yeah, Mabel just comes up with Stan, and then Seuss is just like, hey, that's my name, dude.
I'm Seuss, I'm tan.
Oh yeah,
I'm soft like a woman. That's my Seuss impression.
I'm soft like a woman.
I forgot there was another waitress at this diner. I only remembered Lazy Susan.
Oh, there was another waitress? I don't remember one either.
At, like, the very beginning, she's, like, hitting an animal with a broom. I think it was, like, a raccoon.
Oh, yeah. No, they were beavers.
I don't think they were they beavers?
I saw the buck teeth. They were beavers.
Okay, I need to know. I need to go back to the episode. Mary's
gonna fact check this, and then we're gonna start another new segment on Into the Falls called Beaver Count, where we count the beavers that make an appearance in each episode of Gravity Falls. See, this is what happens when your mouth runs a Core i7 and your brain runs a Pentium 2.
I have no idea what those words were that you said, but I'm gonna check. This is Animal Check, where we check those animals for species and genus.
We're taking you back to school, kids.
I noticed there's a little Boy Scout in the first establishing shot of the shack, just like standing outside.
It's the kid of that indecisive guy.
Perhaps. He's not a very attentive father.
Yeah, he's more concerned with either Puma shirt or Panther shirt. But I mean, I'm sure that's a big conundrum to somebody.
Puma shirt, Panther shirt. Puma shirt. Panther shirt.
By the way, do we want to talk about how Stan was literally gonna lock that guy inside so that he and Dipper and Mabel could dip and go get pancakes? What kind of business practice is that?
Well, not only was he going to do it, they did it. And they were all just fine with it. That's like, oh, it was a beaver. Ah, damn it. Okay, that's
Beavers
like
strike again!
But, like, that moment was just, like, so delightful to me, not because I want him to be stuck in this store, just because I think it's so fun when, like, the kids are also in on this sort of mischief that Stan's doing, like in Headhunters, when he's like, avenge me, kids, avenge me, and they just have little smiles on their faces while they run off to go interrogate people. It's just so fun when they're, like, all getting into it.
Yeah, they're in the thick of this lifestyle now.
Into the thick of it!
What?
Did you hear that?
I heard sick of this lifestyle now.
No, I said thick of, they're in the thick of this lifestyle now.
Oh, yeah, it's too late for them.
Thuffer and Thuckatash!
Yeah, that fits because we were talking about Looney Tunes earlier, because those gophers like cruising.
Sure do.
They're a big fan of cruising. I want as many people as possible to know about this. In the first episode of the Looney Tunes show that aired on Cartoon Network between 2011 and 2013, the two gophers, Mac and Tosh, it's not important why, but they're on a cruise in the first episode, and they keep saying things like, oh, who knew cruising could be so much fun? Yes, we're definitely fans of cruising now. We're cruisers now.
Oh, indeed. It's our first one.
And I must say, I'm a fan of cruising.
Oh, yes, we're cruisers now.
And they say it too many times for it to not have been intentional. So I was just watching that last night like, oh God, who was responsible for this?
The same person that was responsible for Daffy and Bugs canonically being a couple.
If they're a couple, that's a polycool going on in that show, and their relationship is a little dysfunctional, but I can see it. Also in that same episode, Rob Paulsen plays a game show host, and this was so funny to me. He's just like, after they like win something, he's like, Gene, tell them what they want. But the way he delivers it is just like, Gene, tell them what they want! Gene, tell them what they want! He's like screaming. It's so weird. I'm gonna get you the sound clip so you can edit it into this because it's so funny to me. Rob Paulsen, from what I've heard of him, just like on like when he's been on podcasts and stuff, is so funny. Like he did the bit where he's doing the Carl Weezer voice and he's like, Jesus helps me trick people. I can't do an impression, but it's such a funny bit.
That's iconic. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be counting down the days until we get him on. We get to hear a voice of his on Gravity Falls. Unless you want to spoil it for me now.
No, I don't know if he's been on Gravity Falls. I thought you were gonna say you're counting down the days until we get him as a guest on this podcast. Like, yeah, Rob, if you're listening,
yeah,
we would love to have you.
Hell nah. I don't do celebrities. I'm gonna miss that day.
I do. So I'm gonna be on a podcast with Rob Paulsen and you won't, so.
You have fun.
I will.
You have fun doing Rob Paulsen.
I'm gonna tell him you pee. I'm gonna tell him you pee the bed every night. I'm gonna talk so much shit about you because you won't be there to defend yourself. To veteran voice actor Rob Paulsen.
You know what? I put up with a lot on this show.
Well, you know what?
But then I also get myself
into
into some sticky situations on this show.
Listeners, AJ completely f***ed me over during Trivia Murder Party tonight. I trusted him, and he took the money. I did nothing, and he killed me.
Yeah, we were playing Trivia Murder Party with Ella from the Mystery Shack Look Back, who we're going to have on the show down the line. Look forward to that. And I pulled a dirty move.
He's a bad man. I'm gonna tell Rob Paulsen all about it.
That's all right.
What were we talking about?
Dipper's smooth chest.
Oh yeah, so we were talking something about chest hair. Yeah, Dipper has a smooth chest because he's a little baby boy.
Apparently his chest can blind people. It's just that powerful.
He's a little ghost boy.
You know what? If you have a chest that is so smooth it can blind people,
write to us at the Falls Cast. Wait, that's not our.
I would call that a very obvious definition of manliness.
Yeah, that's a masculine trait if you want it to be.
Yeah. I mean, anything's a masculine trait if you want it to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the lesson here.
Yeah. And what Dipper wants is chest hair, beards, big muscles, and,
not to murder people.
And not to murder people who like Baba.
Which is a point of contention, but he stands his ground. And we're very proud of the baby boy for becoming a baby man.
Yeah, just standing in front of all these menators. Hang on, would the plural be manitars or menators? We gotta hash this out.
Oh, Oh, I don't know. Well, what does Dipper say? Does he say manitars? Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't use plural of manitars. He says these half bull, half man things or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. This was one of the episodes that I used to try to get my parents to watch this show. It never worked. They enjoyed it a little bit. Like my dad liked the joke about it being a man cave, but that was like all I could get from them.
Yeah, that was funny. We crash in a man cave. It's funny because they literally crashed into a cave.
I think Charlie Marlowe, also of Mystery Shack Look Back, also a future guest on this podcast, I think they said this is their least favorite episode.
I mean, that opinion is valid.
I think they said that. I would have to go way far back to see. Or I could just ask them now, but they're in bed.
Yeah, this is probably my least favorite episode thus far, too. It was funny, but just the whole permeation of this idea, this episode's idea of manliness is just kind of uncomfortable. Especially, like, why? I guess they're not really forcing it on the child because the child is wanting to buy into this, but these guys shouldn't enable Dipper.
I think I take it as like they just don't know better. Like they have been brought up with this idea of what being a man is, and they are genuinely wanting to help him in a lot of ways, but they're very misguided, and they are in turn misguiding him.
Yeah.
Like I definitely don't take it as the episode is endorsing this. Especially since, like, the lesson is, like, he has to go against something that they're telling him he needs to do in order to be a man. And it's ultimately like, well, that doesn't really matter. What matters is, like, if you do the right thing.
Yeah, I guess in that way, the show really succeeds because it takes this idea of manliness to a ridiculous level, so much so that it made me uncomfortable. So good on the show for that.
Yeah, I definitely think that was the point, is they're making fun of these ideas of masculinity and how people will go so far to prove that they're men, prove that they're manly men. I forgot about, that's another thing about, like, watching this after a long time, is I forgot about fists for nipples.
Oh, yeah, that was gross.
But it's, like, it's probably one of the best jokes in the episode. I loved it.
That was just ridiculous. Like, what do you need to do to achieve all of that?
You need to drink a lot of Dr. Pepper 10. You remember that?
Oh gosh, that's a throwback. I don't even see that anymore around. All I see is Zero and Cherry Zero.
Yeah, I mean, that's because the slogan was "It's not for women," which didn't age well. And this wasn't even that long ago. It was like 10 years ago that they did this.
I guess in some ways it's amazing how far we can go to unlock the secrets of gender in just 10 years.
That was fucking wild that they were doing this in like 2010.
Yeah, but then like Vine people were doing their stuff in 2012, 2013.
But this was just like such an overt, like, why did they think this was a good PR move? The manbulance. They're going to rescue him from being on a date with his girlfriend, I guess, because it's emasculating, and they like save him with Dr. Pepper 10 because it's not for women.
I can sort of see maybe what they were trying to go for with it. Maybe they were thinking...
What were they trying to go for with?
Diet sodas are, I don't know, women drink diet sodas because they want to maintain their figure, and if a man likes diet sodas, he's womanly. I don't know.
AJ, I know.
Maybe they were smoking crack.
I know what they were going for, AJ. What I don't know is why they thought it was a good idea to market something as being not for women. Not only is it for men, it is not for women. But the joke's on you, Dr. Pepper, and whoever your parent company is, because I can't drink anything carbonated. I have sensory processing disorder, and I can't tolerate the feeling. So there.
Pity.
I don't want your Dr. Pepper 10.
I feel sorry for you because sparkling water is amazing.
Sparkling water is like being stabbed in the tongue 1,000,000 times.
It's spicy water.
Spicy.
I heard that somewhere and I was like, yeah, it's spicy water.
That's not what spicy is. That's not what spicy means. Spicy isn't just it's carbonated. That's like saying Pop Rocks are spicy.
You know, I said it like Damien Haas from Smosh, so now I'm convinced that I saw it in a Smosh video.
I don't know how Damien Haas says the word spicy. I don't think I registered him saying that in anything.
I don't know.
I know how Stefan says the word spicy. He says like spicy.
Spicy.
Side note, I cannot believe he got through that delivery and then he is unable to get through like another line later on down the line. Because why would you ever say it like that? It's ridiculous.
Because he's Bill Hader.
Spicy.
Spicy.
I can't even do it.
My favorite that he did, and like it was to the point where I couldn't quote it to someone without laughing, was like, New York's hottest club is...
Your mother and I are separating.
Just like he affects like a completely different voice, just is very serious. It's so funny.
Oh boy. Yeah, I just find it really funny how John Mulaney would like edit the cue cards like right before this show so Bill Hader would have no idea what he was going to say. Which, by the way, the Gravity Falls Tourism Board contacted me about that and said they wanted me to do the next episode of Tourist Treats like that. So I'm a little worried, but I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I guess I got that email. I think they're going to just send the ad copy. Like, we just need to let them know when we're recording, and they're going to send the ad copy to the show email. And yeah, AJ will just read it then.
Send me sympathy at intothefalls@gmail.com. Is that it?
What is our email? I don't know. It's intothefallscast@gmail.com.
There we go.
I think that's in the social media plugs at the end of every episode anyway. Yeah, there was one where it was after he'd left SNL, but he came back to host, and John Mulaney came playing Stefan's lawyer. And
I love that.
Yeah, and he like whispers, he's like, can you still say the word And then John Mulaney, you can hear it if you turn the volume up. He leans into Bill Hader and whispers, my girlfriend works at Yoshinoya Beef Bowl. It's like, I was going to say something else, but yeah. And dance the night away to the sounds of Donald Duck having a Vietnam nightmare.
Oh my God.
What does that sound like, AJ? Can you do it?
I'm embarrassed.
That's the whole thing? Okay.
Oh, that was horrible.
Back to the show.
And by the way, for the record, Donald Duck was featured in a number of World War II time cartoons, so I believe it would be more accurate to say he would be having flashbacks to that. I hate to be that guy, but...
Don't lie to them, AJ.
Actually, you know what? I do it so often. Maybe I don't hate to be that guy.
You love to be that guy. We all know.
I need help.
You do need help. What are you doing here?
I need to visit the Manitors.
No, they are not the people you should go to for help.
Yes, agreed. Oh look, time for a break. Hey y'all, it's AJ. Back when I was in college, I volunteered at our campus-owned radio station, and boy did I have a lot of fun there. I made on-air advertisements, not unlike the ones you've heard on this very pod, and I even got to DJ and have my sultry voice broadcast to thousands of people on the air. Oh, those were exciting times. So, for this lovely little ad break, I'm gonna do it just like I used to do in my DJ days. I got my copy right here on screen and my mouth right on the mic like all the great DJs. So let's get it underway. That was Disco Girl, the seminal hit from yesteryear by the Scandinavian sensations BABA. We'll swing right back into the hits here on 97.7 KGVF right after this word from our sponsor, Widmay Game Manufacturing and their Manliness Tester. From the creator of the arcade smash, that punching bag you see in every arcade, comes the new must-own for any pizzeria, mall hangout, or ethnic grocery store, the Manliness Tester. It's simple to use. Just firmly grasp the handle and the machine will decide your self-worth. It's a surefire way to get people in the door of your local business. In fact, we have a lovely lady in the studio today to tell us all about how the Manliness Tester raked in the quarters. So tell us, how well has the Manliness Tester worked for you?
The Manliness Tester saved my restaurant. Sure, a few customers have tried to physically fight my employees over their results, but the patrons who are willing to hinge their entire tab on a piece of wood telling them they're masculine have poured so much money into this business that my waitstaff can finally afford healthcare. Which is great timing, since one of them just had his arm broken by a guy who took the test and scored a... scrawny Johnny. Ugh.
Ooh, what a pity. But you know what they say, those who'd base their entire worth on a meaningless arcade amusement really need therapy. Thanks for joining us, ma'am, and good luck with those pancakes. So, call 1-800-RU-A-MAN with 2 N's to shop the Widmay Manliness Tester, available in standard cabinet, bar table, and super deluxe 8-player configurations. Again, that's 1-800-RU-A-MAN. And now, back to the music. All right, hope you enjoyed that. And remember, we're not responsible for you falling for this dumb parody ad, yada yada, all right? Okay, now, how do I cue the real ad again? It's been so long since I used a computerized radio playlist. I think you tap this.
Gold chains for
that's another fake ad.
The authority on timeless
shit.
whack.
Oh, no, wait, not
Whack.
homework
Teachers
swag.
whack.
Oh, that's
Principals
gonna be in my
whack.
head
Friends are
now.
whack. College
Damn
is
it.
whack. Sleep is whack. Society is
Ha,
whack.
here it is.
Patriarchy is whack. Gender is whack.
So we were still using CDs in 2012. I remember because I bought Taylor Swift's album Red on CD in the fall of 2012 because I was obsessed with Taylor Swift and I didn't have Spotify at the time. I don't know if Spotify even existed back then. Let me look it up.
I think it existed, but I mean, it wasn't what it is today.
It's Swedish?
Hey, the country that brought us Spotify also brought us BABA.
No, BABA's from Iceland, ABBA's from Sweden. It was founded in 2006, so it existed, but no one was really using it. My older sister used to have a bunch of CDs burned from iTunes from our old giant iMac that we still have, but we never use. She and her friends would burn CDs, and she just had them on rotation in this giant shitty truck we used to have to share.
Oh, nice. I wonder what kind of music was on the regular.
Let me try to remember. She had Stronger by Britney Spears, but it was a YouTube download of the music video, so like the sound effects and the dialogue were in there.
Yeah, I don't like that.
There was some Rascal Flatts on there. That's like all I remember.
If I had to harper a guess, it's probably Life is a Highway or...
It wasn't Life is a Highway.
That was probably What Hurts the Most.
It might have been that. Or it might have been Fast Cars and Freedom. I don't know. This has been the...
That sounds like every country song ever nowadays. It's just Fast Cars and Freedom.
This has been the Into the Falls Rascal Flatts Minute. My dad used to call Rascal Flatts Boys Who Cry because of that one SpongeBob episode, and because the only song he ever heard from them was like, was What Hurts the Most. Or maybe another sad song, I don't know.
That's hilarious.
I remember, I don't remember who I was talking to. I think I might have just been saying it in the St. Canard server, but I said, I'm not even sure if my car has a CD slot. So I went outside to check, and it does. And then one day I was driving, and I was curious because I couldn't remember ever putting a CD in there, or if anyone else had, but I pressed the eject button, and there was an Eagles CD in there, and I don't know whose it was. It wasn't mine. I don't listen to the Eagles.
Only dads listen to the Eagles.
Yeah, so it could have been my parents, it could have been my sisters, it could have been there when we got the car because it was used.
Fascinating. I feel like that would be a good mystery to solve on Gravity Falls. Where would that lead? What kind of monster will we get out of the mysterious CD we found in Stan's freaking Lincoln or whatever he drives?
Well, if it's an Eagles CD, I can only assume it would be the Multi-Eagle. The Malteagle.
The Malteagle. The Maltese Eagle. The Malteagle.
Yeah, that's the oft-forgotten sequel to the Maltese Falcon, which is on my list on HBO Max, but I still haven't watched it, just like I had never seen Casablanca until a week ago, because they referenced it in Space Jam 2, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch it already.
Yeah, they also referenced A Clockwork Orange in Space Jam 2, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should see it.
AJ, we could sit here all night and name things that were referenced in Space Jam 2, but we gotta talk about Gravity Falls.
Yeah, Looney Tunes Back in Action was better anyway.
I still need to rewatch that because I haven't seen it since I was 15. So, what do you think is in the pain hole?
Oh, boy. It took me a minute to come back to that. I don't know. I think it's just best we don't find out.
I think it's a little feral kid who just bites your hand as hard as he can.
Going back to Warner Brothers references, it's that feral kid from Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior.
I haven't seen any Mad Max movies.
What? Oh, they're nuts.
AJ, I didn't watch Casablanca. I got a degree in film, and I hadn't seen Casablanca until I saw it referenced in Space Jam 2. So no, I haven't seen a Mad Max movie.
You know what? That's okay. There's a whole bunch of films I haven't seen and I guess have no desire to see now because I've moved on to other stuff and because film classes in college are bullshit.
Guys, if you have an HBO Max subscription and you want to cry, watch Splendor in the Grass, starring Natalie Wood and Ned Beatty, directed by Elia Kazan. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his first name. I kind of knew what I was getting into because one of my film professors said that, without fail, everyone she showed that movie to ended up sobbing, and they didn't even know why. I watched it. I cried at the end.
I bet the Manitors would cry at that movie.
It's a tough one emotionally. They would, but they would lie about it.
Yeah, it's not manly if you don't confront it. It's not manly if you confront your emotions. See, this is why I'm into voice acting, because there's always a second take.
That's one thing that I will give them credit for is I don't know the name of the first Manitar that we meet, but I will give him credit that he encouraged Dipper to express his emotions, to talk them out. That's the one emotionally healthy thing that they did.
Yes. I feel like that Manitor is gonna separate himself from his brethren down the line and maybe establish his own man cave where he can, maybe set other Manitors who don't belong to any sort of, I don't want to say cult, but I'm going to say cult, maybe steer them in a more positive direction.
This episode of Into the Falls is sponsored by BetterHelp. Just kidding.
Hey, we got Anchor. Maybe someday we will get BetterHelp to give us money.
Maybe. So S&P, Standards and Practices, had a problem with the paint hole when this episode was in production. They're like, what's in it? And Alex Hirsch is just kind of like, it's, you put your hand in it and you feel pain. It's a paint hole. There's pain in there. That's it. And then, of course, when Leader R takes the spear out of his chest, they couldn't show actual blood, so they just made it green, and then it was fine.
Yeah, that was pretty gnarly, too.
Yeah, I was like I remembered it, but I watched it and I was like, oh no.
Literally taking a spear out of your body because it's for kids.
Yeah, that's, ooh. I mean, they said that they never wrote episodes with kids in mind. Like, they were never thinking, are kids gonna get this joke or this reference, or is this gonna be too scary for kids? They just kind of wrote what they thought was funny, and then they just couldn't use swear words, or they couldn't show this or that, and that was really just up to S&P.
Yeah, and I think shows are usually better when they're written like that, because if you try to write something that's strictly for kids, your show usually ends up getting put on Disney Junior anyway.
Yeah, I will say Bluey is a good show. I watch it sometimes with a kid that I babysit. I think more preschool shows should be like that, because they're doing this thing where they have to teach a lesson because it's for preschoolers, but they also don't want the adults to be completely tormented by having to watch it, so they put in some stuff that's legitimately funny.
That's what I've heard.
It's a good show, but it's not the one we do our podcast about.
Nope.
So Stan's in love.
Aw, Stan's in love.
Stan's in old person love. It doesn't last past this episode because I guess they just go on one date and it doesn't go well.
Yeah, he finds out Susan's a cat lady.
She's got too many cats.
Yeah, and apparently a couple of them don't like each other.
I mean, that's just, if you own multiple cats, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I guess there's always one or two bad apples in the bunch.
Her making them all say hi on the voicemail is just everyone showing their pets during Zoom calls.
Yep.
I have such a hard time holding back from just going to get a cat and being like, everybody look.
I think you did show me your cat one time on a call.
I probably did because they hang out down here a lot. So Mabel takes a before picture when they're trying to give Stan a makeover and do the My Fair Lady thing. Then when she shows the before and after, that's not the before picture she actually took. It's nowhere near it, because the one she took was when she told him to smile bigger and bigger and bigger. Or no, it's when the flash went off, and so he was just and then the one she shows is just him standing there, which is, it's fine. It doesn't ruin the episode. It's just something I noticed this time around.
Yeah, she realized that having an unflattering picture like that would not help her any, so it was better to just take it again.
I love that he's worse.
Yeah.
When they do the after.
Yeah.
He's somehow downgraded.
I mean, at least he was clean in that first picture. What happened between then and then? What happened there?
She asks if he has throw up on his shirt, and he says, I don't know how to answer that.
Don't you know it was Mom's spaghetti?
He's nervous, but on the surface, his party's ready.
So yes, I don't know.
Can I scratch myself?
I love Beardy. I don't know. What's her name? Beardy? It's Beardy.
Yeah. Got it right.
And like Dipper's just admonishing all of them, but he's just smiling. He's just like, it's Beardy. I have it's Beardy written with an exclamation point in this because it sounds like an 80s sitcom. It's Beardy.
It's Beardy.
It's about a gay man and a lesbian who move in together and pretend to be married to keep each other in the closet. It's Beardy.
You know what? That sounds like something that would be on NBC, like right after Friends. Move over, Will and Grace. It's Beardy.
Probably. No, that would be like another network trying to copy Will and Grace. Like that's their answer to it. Like how I Met Your Mother kind of filled the Friends gap, but it was on a different network.
Yeah. Like I said before, we all don't know the secrets to gender. See, that's the real lesson here. The secrets of gender are the secrets you make for yourself along the way.
That was a bunch of word salad, but I get what you're going for. The last thing I want to make absolute sure that I say is Dr. Octobear. Because I'm pretty sure the multi-bear has 8 heads. He's played by Alfred Molina, so it's Dr. Octobear.
Yeah, that had to be intentional. I was, at first, when they were revealing the multi-bear, I was like, does this bear have multiple arms? Is that why it's called the multi-bear? And then it started looking like 2 or 3 or 4 bears stuck together, like in a big Jenga puzzle. And I'm like, I can see why the Manitors hate this person, because...
Well, no, they hate him because he likes Baba.
Well, yeah. But...
They think he's a...
we didn't know that he liked Baba, when we first revealed.
We didn't know that, but when he's standing up, it looks like he has like 5 heads, but then when he's like chasing Dipper, it looks like 8, I think.
I mean, I feel like that was intentional.
It's very possible. That's also like the only role I know Alfred Molina from. I know he's done a decent amount of voice acting. He was in the How to Train Your Dragon Netflix series that wasn't great, but he was in that. What else? I don't know. He's been in a lot of stuff.
He's our Doc Ock. Just like Adam West is some people's Batman.
He's our DeCock. Codes! Oh my god, I forgot to write down codes. What was the code for this one?
Oh yeah, is that why you didn't want me to watch the credits? Is because you didn't want me to get spoiled for who guest starred on this show?
Yeah.
Okay,
the code is Mr. Caesarean will be out next... Caesarean. I think that's how you pronounce it. I can't think of, because it's the Caesar cipher, but Caesarean would be weird. I don't know, but
yeah,
whatever the case, he will be out.
As in cesarean section.
Okay. Yeah, so Mr. Caesarean will be out next week. Mr. Atbash will substitute, and that's a different kind of cipher. We've been using the Caesar cipher this whole time. Next week is going to be the Atbash cipher. I'm not sure how to do the Atbash cipher, because I know the Caesar cipher is you move each letter 3 letters behind in the alphabet, and that decodes it. I don't know what you do for Atbash.
That'll be one to look up. And you'll have to put your code in the thumbnail in that cipher next week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well there's a way to do it, because like the way I do it now is there's a website called The Mystery of Gravity Falls, where you just put in whatever that is, and you can either make something into a code or you can decode something. I don't know who made that or if it's official, but it's been up for a while.
Fancy.
A very long time. I don't know if it was up when the show first started, but it's still up now.
I gotta wonder, one last thing about the Manitors. How educated are they? Like, is there a school for Manitors where they learn manly math, manly writing, and manly philosophy?
I would assume that they learn basic speaking, reading, and social skills, and maybe PE. Other than that, I think their education is mostly in toxic masculinity.
They learn the proper way to punch your friend in the face and not have it be rude.
Yeah, well, in their culture, maybe it's not rude. I think in their culture, it's perfectly acceptable in certain circumstances.
Or maybe if you punch your friend with three fingers closed, maybe then it's a gesture of companionship, friendliness.
Well, then you're gonna break your pinky.
Nah, men don't break their pinky.
They get injured. It's just a matter of how they respond to it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if they did get injured, then the pain hole wouldn't be the pain hole. It would just be the hole, and they'd have to fist the hole. But that's not special.
Oh, it was your fault this time. AJ did it this time. Everyone shame him. I think this is the second episode in a row where we've actively encouraged our listeners to bully you.
Whatever, I deserve it. I'm a glutton for punishment.
So the next episode...
It's called Mabel versus the Love Bug. And there's a special cameo by Herbie.
I think there's some rights issues tied up in that.
Really? They're both owned by Disney.
Yeah, but Disney, it's like how they couldn't use Mickey Mouse and DuckTales.
Oh yeah, that's just Disney being a dick.
The next episode is Double Dipper.
That's a nice title.
It's a perfect title.
Dipper leans into his own idea of masculinity a little too far, and then...
Good night, everybody.
This has been Into the Falls. You can find me at Mabel Page Pines on Twitter and Instagram. That's Mabel, P-A-G-E Pines. I'm also May Page on YouTube and Film Knife on Medium and WordPress. That's where I post my film reviews and essays, editorials, etc. You can follow the show on Twitter at The Falls Cast, all one word, and Into the Falls Podcast on YouTube. And I will hand it off to AJ.
My fandom of choice is Disney Ducks and their many spin-offs, so for lots of that, follow me on Twitter at AJ_the_BlueJay or Tumblr at AJ-the-BlueJay. Into the Falls is hosted and produced by Mary McKeon and AJ Sanchez, with music by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks for listening, and until next time, trust no one. Dipper leans into his own idea of masculinity a little too far, and then starts getting mistaken for a woman.
What? What did that mean?
You know what? I don't know. Sometimes I say things and I don't understand what they mean.
What? This is gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. You can't just say that and not explain yourself.
There's nothing to
what does that have to do with the title Double Dipper?
I don't know. He wants to go one way in this episode, and then in the next one he goes the other way. He's
How is that double? What are any of those words you said? That should be our post-credits scene.
Yeah. Let's just keep on bullying me.
Yeah, keep this this episode is sponsored by the Coalition for Bullying AJ. It's a very good cause. I'm honored to have them partner with us on this.
You know what? We're going to do 2 fake ads this episode. We're going to do one tied into this episode, and then you're going to write one called the Coalition to Bully AJ.
You all know AJ. He will earn your trust and Jackbox Party Pack and then completely f*** you over.
Yeah, what a dick.
That guy sucks, doesn't he? Go bully him.
Who likes this person?
Alyssa Milano will be there.
Where'd he come from?
Imagine there's a child in front of you, and he's this dumb piece of shit with blue hair and obsessed with ducks and just the fucking worst. Let's make his life miserable.
This little dweeb doesn't know when to shut his damn mouth.
Imagine nothing he says makes any fucking sense, and he fucking sucks, and he's the worst, and I hate him. But not that much, because he agreed to do this podcast with me, and he does all the editing.
Yeah, I work hard. I work hella hard for the $10 that we get from Anchor for these episodes.